So regarding the overview of urea cycles, so already you know both of them, the urea cycles and as well as the metabolism of the amino acids, how they are metabolized. So what are the reactions are involved, like transamination, deamination, transcarboxylations and transmethylations. So among them the deamination is the only one, so that was responsible for the catabolism of amino acids into ammonia. Okay, so that ammonia was converted into urea by following the five steps, or in the presence of the following five enzymes. The first enzyme, that is the carbyl phosphatase or carbyl phosphate synthase enzyme. So that enzyme can convert carbon dioxide or bicarbonate and ammonia into carbyl phosphate. It is the first reactions, and this step is the rate limiting step. Okay, it is a rate limiting, and this enzyme activity that was mainly depending upon the N-acetyl glutamate. Okay, and second reaction that was catalyzed by the ornithine carbonyl transferase, so that can convert carbonyl phosphate, and using the ornithine it was recirculated in the urea cycle, that was converted into citrulline, and further the citrulline and L-aspartate was coupled or converted into arginosuccinate by the presence of the arginosuccinate synthase. The fourth enzyme that was involved in the urea cycle is a arginosuccinate lyase. So that this enzyme convert arginosuccinate into, or cleaved the arginosuccinate into a L-arginine and L-fumarate. Okay, arginine and fumarate. That fumarate enter in T cell cycle, produce the ATP, and that remaining arginine, so that was reacts with, or that was undergo the hydrolysis or reacts with the water in the presence of arginase enzyme, then it can form the L-arnithine and as well as urea. So like that the ammonia was excreted in the form of urea, then the whatever the L-arnithine was that form, so that was recirculated in the urea cycles. So these are the steps, basic overview of the urea cycles. So dear students, if any one enzymes, if their abnormally work or their deficient is there, because first two enzymes, so they are present in the mitochondria, and mitochondrial function was mainly depending upon the oxygen. Okay, so lack of oxygen, the mitochondrial function can be decreases or dysfunction is occurs, or due to entry of the free radicals in our body, then also mitochondrial function can be dysfunction, or due to accumulations of toxic substance in the cell. The cells, if it is failed to remove the toxic substance with the help of the peroxisomes, so those are involved in the waste management in the cell compartment or in the cell. If any problem in the peroxisomes due to hereditary disorders or due to exposure to the chemicals or entry of the free radicals, okay, so then the mitochondrial dysfunction is occurs due to accumulations of the that is the waste material in the cells. So then, so these enzymes will be the malfunction, so they are not active at all, so they are not activated in the mitochondria, then so there is the problem in the urea cycle. So that's why if any time if you having the lack of sweating or lack of that is the morning problems, so you are not going for the completely that is the removal of the boil or faces. Okay, so there is a constipation is there simply, so then waste material can accumulated on that time automatically. Suppose you can think in the past history, so where you were having the constipation, so there is a problem in the morning, you are not getting easily the that is the toilets. Okay, so where that indicates that is the constipations, that indicates accumulations of toxic substance in your body. So that time only, so we are having the irrational behaviors. Okay, we are easily irritated. Our mind not concentrate in the syllabus, not concentrate in the class, not concentrate in the works. So that is the toxicities. Okay, so because toxicities occurs, the mitochondria is not properly work. So due to that, the urea cycle is cannot properly regulated or many other cycles. So they are the abnormals. So and here, so these the any deficiency or lack of functions of these enzyme, so that was responsible to cause of the metabolic disorders of the urea cycle. So among five enzyme, the first enzyme carbyl phosphatase synthase is the most commonly. Okay, that deficiencies occurs because that step was that is the rate limiting steps. Okay, so remaining we having the bypass. Okay, remaining reactions we are made the bypass with the help of the drugs, with the help of the hormones, with the help of the therapy. But that for the first enzyme, so there is no that much drugs are available, that much therapy was available. So due to deficiency of that enzyme, and that enzyme is activity was depending upon the conditions of the cell or conditions of the mitochondria. If any genetic defects, if any problem in the liver, so then the cells was abnormal. Then if the cells was abnormal of the liver means, then that enzyme is also abnormal. Then that enzyme was failed to begins the urea cycle. So then the ammonia or toxic substance, so they are accumulated in our body. Okay, if this enzyme, that is if one enzyme is deficient means ammonia is accumulated. If the second enzyme is deficient means carboyl phosphate is accumulated. If the third enzyme deficient means then citrulline is accumulated more in our body. Then if this enzyme is deficient means then arginosuccinate is accumulated. If the arginase was malfunction means then definitely L-arginine was accumulated or more produced in our body. So the elevations of these hormone intermediates or metabolites, then also they are responsible for to cause of the metabolic disorders of urea cycles. So due to deficiency of any of the enzymes, okay, so ammonia level was increases, so that was caused the toxication. So that's why, so whatever the metabolic disorders related to the urea, so they are mainly categorized into three types. That one is the hyperammonemia, ammonia, that means increase the level of ammonia in the body, so that condition was known as the hyperammonemia. Okay, so there is no processing of the ammonium, so there is no formations of the urea. Due to that ammonia level was increases, so that was responsible to cause the abnormalities in the brain along with the abnormalities in the other organs also. And second, so due to accumulations of ammonia, certain toxicity was produced, lethargy was produced, the brain can be functions can be retarded, confusion is occurs, or vomiting is occurs, or lack of energy is occurs. Okay, then so that condition was known as the ammonia intoxicity. In especially in ammonia intoxicity, especially so energy level in our body was decreases. Okay, suppose if you want to know whether the how the ammonia was that is the processed or not, simply you can concentrate on your energy level. Okay, you are having the good source of carbohydrates, good source of proteins, good source of as well as the lipids, still you will be having the fatigue. Okay, lack of concentrations or there is lack of energy in your body, so that indicates you are suffering from the somewhere, not clearly, that is the ammonia intoxications. Simply for that reason, so there is no medications is needed, just you can take the rest, because in the rest condition we required less metabolites. Okay, less energy, then automatically body can be recover. Then if once the body can recover and stable means automatically all the organ functions are normal, even the liver function is normal. So that's why if now you are any parents or family members yourself you are having the fatigue means don't go for the to take the medications regarding the multivitamins. So if any kind of fatigue we can prefer the multivitamin tablets or capsules. So instead of that, because they are temporary solutions, okay, so they are not treat the risk factor. Okay, only they can correct the ATP source when they are available. But what about when the drug was completely excreted or metabolized? Then what about the energy level? Still, we are deficient. After discontinuations of therapy, after 8 days, 2 days, 4 days, then what about that? Once again, we have a deficiency of any, that is the ATP or fatigue. So that's why the fatigue is only treated by taking the more and more and more rest. So that's why in the COVID patient, the doctor they are told if you're having the any symptomatic symptoms, the symptoms are asymptomatic, go for bed rest, bed rest, bed rest, because that bed rest is helpful for a rest is helpful for to regenerate the energy level in our body. So that the regenerations of the energy so in our body, so that was helpful for to allay the fatigue and to neurosis the our body. Okay, if the brain is neurosis means definitely all organs functions neurosis and excretory functions was more. So that's why the doctors are also told you take plenty of water, more and more and more and water, because that was helpful for excretions of the waste material. One side we are taking the rest to regenerate the energy, another side we are involved in the removal of the waste material. So these are the therapies. Okay, so there was nowadays they are the familiar for to um, treat the COVID symptoms or COVID-19s or any bacterial, viral, and fungal infections. So where you, if you're having the fatigue means you take the rest. Okay, so in the case of bacterial, take the medication and rest. Any viral, rest. Any fungal, you can take the rest. Automatically, your body can be strengthened. Automatically, those microorganisms, so they are destroyed from the body. So that same was seen in the case of the ammonia intoxication. That is accumulations of ammonia. It caused the it was causes the toxications. Okay, that was no ammonia intoxications. Okay, then another is the episode encephalopathy. It is related to the brain. So due to hepatic coma or hepatic encephalopathy, so that was reflect or that was causes the accumulations of the ammonia so in the brain. Okay, so due to accumulations of ammonia in the brain, so various side effects, that are various symptoms of occurs like vomiting, ataxia, lethargy, lack of energy, weakness, confusion, problem in the respirations, problem in the concentrations, problem in the memory or cognitive functions, many whatever the brain functions are there, so all are abnormal. So that condition was known as the encephalopathy. The same is seen in the COVID-19 also. Due to because the COVID-19, the oxygen deficiencies occurs. Due to oxygen deficiency, in mitochondrial functions are abnormal, then the waste material cannot be removed from the body. So that's why time by time we having the symptoms in the COVID-19. So that's why what is the reason for that? That is once again accumulations of waste material and lack of energy. So that's why you can take the rest. So that was helpful for the treatment of COVID-19 as well as, so here also that can helpful for the treatment of the ammonia intoxications and as well as episode encephalopathy are simply whatever the metabolic disorder they are related to urea cycle, so they are corrected. So this is regarding the overview of the urea cycle. So now we can go for the disorders related to the metabolic disorders of urea cycle one by one. First, we can discuss regarding the hyperammonia. So hyperammonia is a metabolic disorder in which there is an excess of ammonia in the blood due to any deficient in the enzyme, especially there is a carboxyl phosphatase or carboxyl phosphate synthetase enzyme. So due to deficiency of that one, especially there is one enzyme, because they are the two enzymes, one and two. One is found in the that is the mitochondria, and carboxyl phosphatase 2 it was formed in the cytosol, and one enzyme involved in the urea cycle, and enzyme 2 was involved in the pyrimidine synthesis or pyrimidine cycles. So due to special deficiency of one enzyme, so that was not process the ammonia. Okay, that cannot be begins the urea cycle. So due to that, the ammonia was more present in the blood. So that condition was known as the hyperammonia. So hyperammonemia is also, it is a metabolic disorder because lack of metabolic pathway. So that was occurs. So that's why it is also account for the metabolic path, the disturbance or metabolic disorders. So regarding the reasons for hyperammonemia, so that was due to genetic defects. Okay, so defects in the enzyme, so that can cause irregular of urea cycle, because some this it is the hyperammonia, it is also came from the family members or from parents to offspring or grandsons to that is a grandfather to grandsons. So these are the familial history disease. So that's why the genetic defects in any, so that was caused the abnormalities in the enzymes. Okay, so due to that, the urea cycles cannot be begins properly. So that's why the genetic defects related to the enzymes, so those are involved in the urea cycle, that was also one of the risk factor for hyperammonia. The next one is the hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is a one type of viral infections or infections related to the cells of the liver or inflammation in the hepatocytes. So due to that inflammation in the hepatocyte, the toxic substance cannot be removed from the body through a liver. Okay, because the liver cells are only there, so they are involved in the intoxications of the ammonia into urea, or they are involved in the intoxications of the toxins or drugs. That is the role of the hepatocytes or liver cells. If they are in the problem due to hepatitis B, okay, so due to that, that was responsible to cause of the hyperammonia. So that's why the viral infection is also affect on our liver. Okay, so and due to affect, if the virus, if the affected on our liver means definitely we are suffering from the hyperammonia or ammonia intoxication. So that's why hepatitis B is the another reason or risk causes for hyperammonia. So that's why if you have in hepatitis B or have jaundice means you can take the care and treat the jaundice as possible as early. Otherwise, that was converted into a hyperammonemia. So next one is the liver cirrhosis. That is the, it is one of the failure of the liver cells or liver failure, that was known as the or liver dysfunction. So that was known as the liver cirrhosis. So due to liver cirrhosis also, that whatever the intoxications are there or removal of toxins from the blood or whatever they enter in the liver or produce in the liver due to metabolic pathway, so there cannot be begins. So that's why, so that was responsible for to cause of the accumulations of ammonia. So due to accumulations of ammonia, the patients can be have the symptoms like vomiting, ataxia, lethargy, weakness, confusion, tachypnea, lack of concentrations, problem in the concentrations or lack of memory. So many whatever the brain functions are there, so they are the defects. So that condition is known as a encephalopathy. Okay, so that if encephalopathy was not treated, so that was responsible for to cause of the death. So due to only ammonia. So that's why in the last class I already told you. So if the ammonia is not removed from body, it means it can cause the fatal. So due to generations of the or progress of the encephalopathy that was related to the brain dysfunction that was due to dysfunctions of the liver. So due to liver insufficiency, liver in dysfunction, so these symptoms are occur. So due to that, the person was suffering with these symptoms. So that's why they are suffering from the hyperammonemia. So next one, so regarding the certain clinical manifestations of hyperammonia. So in the neonates, so early the symptoms are poor feeding and vomiting, lethargy, somnolence, and irritability. And as well as it can symptoms causes like respiratory distress, tachypnea, hyperventilation, respiratory alkalosis, hypothermia or hyperthermia or hypotonia, lack of the muscles. Even it can show the hepatomegaly, decrease the urea productions or increase the hepatic enzyme. So these are the symptoms, so where genetic defects is there, so that was produced in the neonates. So regarding the infants, children and adults, so these are the various symptoms like increase the extracellular potassium, glutamine, increase osmolality, inflammatory cytokines, and as well as regarding the GIT, the symptoms are hepatic, increase the hepatic enzymes, decrease the urea productions, and hepatomegaly. As well as it can cause abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and also it can show the low protein tolerance or dislike of proteins. Even it can cause the failure to the thrive. So regarding the psychiatric manifestation that was seen in the adult due to hyperammonia, that was behavioral changes, sleep disorder, mood changes, hyperactivity, aggressive behavior, competitive delusion, and psychosis. And neurological, that is the confusion, lethargy, dizziness, migraine like headache, tremor, ataxia, dysarthria, learning disabilities, neurodevelopment delay, seizures, then as well as hemiplasia, that is a clot in the brain, then as well as the it was produces the coma. So these are the symptoms. So that was related to the hyperammonia in the infants and children as well as adult. If it is not corrected or not treated, definitely the death is or the fatal is the occurs. So now regarding the ammonia, that is the toxicity. So dear students, so as you know, so the if ammonia is produces more, okay, so then so it was required the more glutamate. So already you know from the urea cycle in the first steps. So glutamate along with the acetyl CoA, it was involved in the formations of that is N-acetyl glutamate, and N-acetyl glutamate is the allosteric activator that was required for the carbamyl phosphate synthetase. Okay, so due to that, so as the ammonia level increases, the turnover of glutamate is also increases, or utilization of glutamate is increases. So due to increase the glutamate utilizations for the urea cycle, then the alpha ketoglutamate do not forms, because alpha ketoglutamate, so that was forms from the glutamate during the transaminations of the amino acids. But that whatever the glutamate is produces during the transamination, so that glutamate was utilized for the processing of the ammonia or urea cycle. So due to more productions of the ammonia, the more glutamate is utilized for the ammonia urea cycle, not utilized for the synthesis of the or conversions of alpha keto glutarate. So due to lack of alpha keto glutarate, because so this alpha ketoglutarate is one of the important intermediate that was required for the regulations of the TCA cycle. So lack of this alpha ketoglutarate, the TCA cycle can be impair or decreases, or it can be halt, or it can be abnormal. So as the TCA cycle is abnormal, the productions of ATP in the brain, so that was decreases. So due to lack of ATP, so certain symptoms are developed. So that was commonly known as the ammonia toxicity. So due to lack of ATP in the brain, the persons will be having the symptoms like marginal elevations to the toxic to the brain, and as well as slurring speech, blurring of vision, tremor, coma, even death. So these are the main symptom that was seen due to ammonia toxicity or increase the ammonia level in the brain. So that was utilize the more glutamate and decrease the alpha beta glutarate for required for T cycle. So lack of T cycle, the ATP in the brain that was decreases. Okay, so due to that the persons will be having the toxicity in the brain, slurring of speech, that is the blurring visions, then even it can cause the tremors, coma and death. So these all symptoms are combined. So those are known as the symptoms of the ammonia toxicity. So that is occurred due to lack of the ATP in the brain. So next one is the hepatic encephalopathy. That was nothing but so due to liver dysfunction. Okay, due to lack of the processing of ammonia by a liver, so that can cause the certain abnormalities in the brain. So that was known as the hepatic encephalopathy. That is the pain, or pathy means the pain, or abnormal functions of the some disorder disease in the brain. Okay, so that was related to the liver means, so that condition is known as the hepatic encephalopathy. So already know, so in our gut flora regarding the risk factor or causes, so in the gut flora the bacteria flora is present, so that was involved in the productions of more ammonia because of whatever the food was undigested by a small intestine, so that was entering the large intestine, and large intestine involved in the processing of the amino acids protein metabolism, so then it can produce the more ammonia, or even that was bacteria gut flora or bacteria, so those present in the large intestine, so they are produces the glutamine, methionine, nitrogen and serotonin and GABA. Okay, so due to abnormalities or disease conditions of liver, so that liver are failed to metabolize the ammonia produces in the gut flora or due to gut flora. Okay, so due to any problem in the liver, hepatotoxicity, liver cirrhosis or any jaundice to the liver, abnormality in the liver or alcoholic cirrhosis is there in the liver, so that was failed to process the ammonia, so that was produced from the gut flora. Due to that, the ammonia level was increases in the blood. Okay, so then it enter the liver or reaches to the general circulation. From the general circulation, it can reaches to the brain. Then the brain abnormal functions can causes or toxin effect in the brain can be evaluated or elicited. So due to that, the persons who are showing the various symptoms like a euphoria, depression, mild confusion, slurred face, disordered sleep, lethargy, moderate confusion, marked confusion, inherent sleeping but irascible, and coma. So these are the symptoms related to the hepatic encephalopathy. So they are mainly categorized into four types. The four grade, the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and as well as the grade 4. So those all are occurs due to only water ammonia produced in the gut flora or in the body. So that was not processed by the liver or hepatic. Okay, due to that, that can bypass the liver and enter into your circulation. From the circulation, it can accumulate in the tissues as well as in the brain. So due to that, the brain can show these symptoms, and these symptoms are known as the encephalopathy. So those are related to the liver dysfunction. So that's why, so these are termed as the, that is the hepatic encephalopathy. Okay, so these are the deficiency of various enzyme or those five enzymes. So those are related to cause the inherited disorders of the urea cycle. The first one is the hyperammonia 1, that was caused due to deficiency of the carboyl phosphate synthase 1. So then the ammonia is more accumulated in the blood. If you estimate ammonia level in the blood means, definitely that can indicate the hyperammonia 1. And hyperammonia 2, that was occurred due to deficient in the ornithine transamylase. Okay, so that was also increase the accumulations of products of ammonia in the blood. Then citrullinemia, that was occurred due to deficiency in the enzyme arginosuccinate synthetase. So that's why the citrulline is more accumulated in the blood. Then arginosuccinate aciduria, so there was occurred due to, that is the deficiency of the arginosuccinate lyase enzyme. Then the blood arginosuccinate level was increased in this condition. The last one, arginemia, that was occurred due to malfunctions of the arginase enzyme. This is the fifth enzyme involved in the urea cycle, and on that time, so the in the blood, the arginine level was increased. So like that, if any deficiency in the enzyme, so those are involved in the urea cycle. So those are responsible to cause of the certain metabolic disorder. So they are mainly five type. That is the hyperammonia 1, hyperammonia 2, citrullinemia, arginosuccinic the aciduria, then as well as the arginemia. So that due to these conditions, a deficiency of these enzymes, so the ammonia level is increased in the first two conditions, and the third condition, citrulline level was increased in the blood, or in the fourth condition, the arginine succinic increases or arginine. For these, there is a alternative ways are there. So by applying the alternative way, so these are excreted through a crane. We have the made a certain arrangements. So those are possible to excrete the, so these levels from the urine. So these are the various inherited disorders of the urea cycle along with the hyperammonia, ammonia toxicity, and as well as the hepatic encephalopathy. So now we can discuss one case, so that was related to this topic. So patient is a full term is a newborn boy from normal vaginal delivery, but the pregnancy was uncomplicated. There is no complications during the pregnancy. So that is the normal deliveries occurs. But at the 36 hours of the baby become the lethargic or irritable and was hyperventilating. The respiration rate of respiration increases. That baby because he do not become the active, lethargic is there, or irritable is there. Okay, or hyperventilation is present. So after the next 24 hours, the lethargy is increased. Lethargy means a lack of activation shows. So that baby do not show any activation. If you make the noise in the front of baby, that baby cannot be interact to you. So that was the lethargy. So that lethargy time by time it was still increases. Then finally that was lethargy was progressed to a coma. So where, so they are required the mechanical ventilations, and the hemodialysis was started at 5 days. Then finally after 1 week, so that baby was died. Okay, it is the one case that was seen. So that is what will be happens, that is the questions. Case, so were the newborn baby having the lethargy, irritable, and hyperventilating. Okay, in the next 24 hours, that lethargy was increases and responsible for that baby was fall under the coma. Then where the doctor they give the mechanical ventilation, and the hemodialysis was started at 5 days. Then but still the patient was die on the age of 1 week. So now the simple question. So what will be the happens? Because here it is easy. It is related to this chapter. So that's why somewhere the ammonia is increases. Okay, already we discussed that is regarding the ammonia intoxicity or as well as hepatic encephalopathy. So that symptoms is lethargy. Then symptoms is severe means that was coma. Okay, so that's why it is related to the somewhere the high ammonia intoxicity or hyperammonia or ammonia level was increases. So next one, the doctor during the treatment they can go for the laboratory results. Okay, laboratory diagnosis. So at 36 hours, the arterial blood pH is 7.5, but the normal blood pH is that is a 7.35 to 7.45. The slightly increases, and carbon dioxide level was 25 ter. That is only the normal level is 35 to 45. It means the carbon dioxide level is also decreases. Okay, then the blood urea nitrogen was 2 mg per deciliter, but normally it was a 5 to 20 mg per deciliter. Then sepsis work up was negative, so there is no sepsis, there is no inflammations. Then on the fifth day, the plasma ammonia was that is a 1800 mole, but actually the ammonia plasma concentration should be less than 35 mole. Okay, that should be less than 35 mole. Then plasma glutamine is 1500 mole, but actually the normal range is that is a 550 to 650. But arginine level, so that was in the end of the cycle in the fifth step. So that arginine was converted into urea in the presence of the arginase enzyme, but that arginine is the below normal, and even the citrulline is the undetectable. Okay, but in the urtic acid in the urine that was elevated. It is one of the abnormal acid, so that was due to abnormal metabolism, so that was seen in the urine. Okay, then regarding the family history is also there. The two of the mother's four brothers had died shortly after the birth. Okay, then as well the cause of death is given as encephalitis. Okay, वहाँ पे reason is there, that is the due to encephalitis. So those babies of the two mothers regarding the four brothers of that new baby was died in this case. So they are also died. So now the question is, what happens? What is the conditions? Okay, simply I told you that is the encephalitis is there, but actually what happens here? That is the what happens because ammonia level is increases as well as glutamate level is increases, but whatever the arginine is required in the fifth step that was decreases. It means that cycle cannot begin, it can stop somewhere, that cannot be entering the end, somewhere it can stop. Okay, so due to that, so this ammonium level was increases. Okay, so that is indicates whatever the first enzyme is there, lack of this enzyme, that enzyme, the further process is not occurs. Okay, then free glutamine that was found that cannot be utilized. Okay, glutamate cannot be utilized, so that's why it is freely available, that cannot be utilized for the formations of N-acetyl glutamate. So that's why its concentration increases. Then whatever the arginine is formed in the fourth step, still that was not found in the in the blood in the normal level, because of that step cannot be entered. So that's why, so from these results it conclude that the diagnosis is, that is the ornithine transcarbamylase deficiency, the deficiency of the enzyme 1 that was involved in the urea cycle. So that can be diagnosed because the glutamate is elevated, arginine is decreases. Suppose ammonia level is normal, so there is no increases, but arginine level was increases or citrulline level was increases, then same symptoms are present means that also that can reflect the somewhere the deficiency in the enzyme 3 or enzyme 4, enzyme 5, not the enzyme 1, that is the ornithine transcarbamylase deficiency. Okay, so next one is the regarding the Biochemical explanations for the ornithine transcarbamylase deficiency is there, that is low burn, low blood arginine, undetectable blood citrulline, then elevated blood ammonia, then elevated glutamine, and elevated iuric acid. So these are the biochemical explanations for ornithine transcarbamylase deficiency. If any patient, if their biochemical parameters or the diagnosis report having these condition means, so that indicates, so this is the condition, that is ornithine transcarbamylase enzyme. So now we can go for the management, simple management. That candidate was referred to the nutritionist, the nutrient scientist, so they can nutritionist, they can adjust the food styles. Okay, so that was helpful for the management of these conditions and reduce the blood ammonia through a providing the low protein diet and its supplement, and as well as so they can go for the dialysis to remove the excess of ammonia from the urines, from the blood. And also so they can counsel for the genetic counseling and support the services, or they can give the genetic therapy for that patients to survive the that. So this is the management regarding the, so that case.